Hello everyone, welcome for this new episode of the ESO News. Today we are the 28th February 2017 and I'm going to speak to you about more detail, more information regarding Morrowind, the next chapter that will be released the 6th June on own platform. Zenimax have invited several players to come to their studio for some special testing. There's also some press information and a big event that has been organized in London. So there had been a lot of press release with plenty of articles regarding the new expansion or chapter. There's so many things to say about Morrowind. First of all, the developers have learned the lesson from Orsinium and they have tried to recreate the same structure for Morrowind. You will find a giant zone which is 30% bigger than Orsinium itself, with delves, public dungeons, one of them is around the Red Mountain, world bosses and daily quests and a scavenging hunt. All of this will encourage the players to explore more, to discover the zone by itself and to find maybe some little nooks and crannies with some lore surprise and Easter egg. The entire map of Warden has been imported in the ESO engine, and so you will find exactly the same continent with the same size. It's very big. However, to respect the lore and the story that happened 700 years before the events of Morrowind Elder Scrolls 3, there will be some change. For example, Seydanin had been recreated to give the players a sentiment of familiarity. But the explanation is that Seydanin is an imperial settlement because the Telvanni house has a commercial relationship with the Golden Coast. So it's just about negotiation and commerce. The city of Vivec is in construction. The Palace of Vivec, the Great Temple, is already built and there is several contents that are already built, but everything else is in different stage of construction. The city of Balmorra is in the same time familiar and different. The landscape all around that city is a lot more lush because the Red Mountain has not erupted yet. The Ashland itself is a lot more green. So there will be a mixture for the players that have played Morrowind before of familiarity but also something different. Regarding to the lore, there will be also some differences. For instance, Vardenfell has not joined the Ebonheart Pact, though there will still be slavery and some stories are related to that subject. The story of Morrowind is independent from Molag-Bal's story, so the players can either start his game with Morrowind or start his game with the Molag-Bal storyline. Both exist in the same time. The players will also have the occasion to interact a lot with Vivec and learn more about the semi-gods through a lot of lore books. The main storyline is about 30 hours of gameplay, but that doesn't count every side quest. A new players will start his adventure in Morrowind by a tutorial. The tutorial is a lot more open than the prison tutorial and will allow players to play with older players that are not doing exactly the same quest, but both can meet together around Seydanin where the story will start. During the tutorial, the players will meet Naruvirian and the story is related around her and her interaction with the Morag Tongue. Morag Tongue is not a guild that the players can join, however. A little word about the trials that will be released in the same times. There will be 4 bosses, but there will be a lot less trash mobs, so the fight will be more fast-paced. More about the Warden, and I will start by a quote from Matt Firor in an article. You can ride your summoned bear, but you can ride a bear mount, have a bear cup pet and wear a bear mask, so feel free to get all beared up. Why Zenimax had chosen a bear and not a wolf as the ultimate of the animal companion skill line? The grizzly bear, which is the one that you will summon if you are Warden, is one of the most ferocious beasts in the animal reign. So they wanted to give this impression of having a tanky creature but that can do a lot of damage. The Warden that has been cancelled in the alpha existed, but it was just a name. Zenimax was trying to find out several archetypes to decide which class they wanted to implement in the game, and the Warden was one of them. Every class in the Elder Scrolls Online is a flavor, a theme, a sort of archetype. The Warden is the nature archetype. You can think of a druid or a ranger type of character. The 3 competence scale line. First of all, Winter Embrace, which is water, ice magic, and it's the most defensive skill line that will probably be used by tanks. Control, protection, self-buff, offensive and defensive. Green Balance, which is the support skill line, nature-based spells, heals. The heals are conic, they need to be targeted, so the players will need to be in the middle of the fight. For example, there is Fungal Growth, which is a conal heal, or healing seed that you drop on the ground. The Animal Companion skill line is a damage skill line. The ultimate is the bear that you can summon and will stay along your side until it dies. If you choose the first morph, once it dies, he reappears, resurrect like a phoenix. If you choose the second morph, you will have to recharge your ultimate before to be able to resummon your bear if it dies, but it do a lot more damage and his fury can be used as execute. The skill lines also synergize very well with the bow. With a bow heavy attack or staff heavy attack, you can redirect the attention of your pets towards your target. There's also spells like the Cliff Racer summoning or the Insect Swarm that allow you to do a lot of damage. The Warden class is apparently one of the most hybrid class that has been created by Zenimax so far. And now more information related to Battleground. First of all, I really recommend you to watch the interview of Brian Wheller made by Dungeon Crawler Network that you can find on the YouTube. You will find the links below. It's a very interesting interview made by Nat, one of their podcasters. The Battleground are aimed to offer players fast-paced PvP action, though they are very different from what you will find in Curodiil. They are aimed to last 15 minutes grand maximum, and for good teams it will last between 7 and 10 minutes. There will be 3 maps at the release of Morrowind and 3 game modes. There will be more maps and more game modes released after, in future. First of all, the 3 maps. You will have the Ashland Quarry, which is a very open map, so the players will immediately be facing each other. The Dwemer Ruins, which is tight corridor, and there's a second level, and then there's a third map which is a little bit of a mix of the two, with a platform that you can access to by teleport pads. So it's easy to find players. You can't have some light of sight obstacles to hide from players, but you can sneak around, but you cannot really hide yourself, so you will be in the middle of the fight all the time. There's 3 modes: Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, think about Warsong Gulch, and Domination, thinks about Arati Basin kind of game. The teams are 4v4v4, the colors are purple, orange and green, so it's not at all related to the alliance and the faction. There is an explanation for the lore, but there's not really a long story to access to the Battleground. So you can play with players from the other faction if you want to form a team. Players will be rewarded by experience and alliance points. Yes, alliance points. Those alliance points you can use to progress your PvP skill lines and also to purchase some gear and some PvP equipment. But the alliance point earned in the Battleground cannot be used to gain emperorship in Curodiil, and it's not related to the leaderboard of Curodiil. The leaderboard of the Battleground are related to the type of game, so for instance capture the flag, and you will earn a medal. For example, the number of flag captured, the number of crits you have done, the number of players you have killed, etc. There's several brackets, but the bracket doesn't count for the leaderboard. One bracket will be from 10 to 49, and the other bracket will be 50 without champion point and 50 with champion point, but Zenimax is not very sure about what to do with the bracket. They are still trying to figure out how that will be. One other game mode that has been announced is the Murder Ball, but it will not be released with Morrowind. For now, the Battleground are only accessible to the players that will purchase the expansion, but in future it is possible that the Battleground will be also open in the main world and may be accessible to every player. Curodiil performance has always been a sensitive point in the Elder Scrolls Online. For that, the developers are doing a week of testing right now. The reason is that they have made a big change with one Tamriel, and this change has been very successful. They are pretty happy of the performance improvement, but it's not enough. They have realized that in Azura Star, which is the campaign without champion points, the performance was a lot better. So this week, all campaign in all mega server, all platform are champion points free. So you cannot have any champion point. It's a very long time that the developers have the impression that the champion points are causing some stress to the server. So this is a week of testing on live server. They cannot recreate the same condition on the developer server or even on the PTS, so they need to do it on the live server. To encourage players to come and test in Curodiil, they are doubling the amount of alliance points you will earn in Curodiil and Imperial City this week. So just join the fight and participate to the testing. There is still some work to do on the client-side performance. The developers are still looking into it. Wheller is also explaining that he do not believe that the Battleground will kill Curodiil. Yes, maybe at the release of Morrowind everyone will play Battleground and Curodiil will be empty, but that will not last. Players that want some fast-paced action will go in Battleground, and the people that just want warfare will continue to play in Curodiil. I've gathered also several information regarding different YouTubers and articles that you can find related to Homestead. Homestead Guides. First of all, you will find several articles on the official website, Master Ritz Guides, Furnishing Crafting Guides, and Homestead Basic Guide. So you will find all basic information revealed by Zenimax. But if you want to go deeper, I recommend you to check those YouTubers. First of all, for crafting, go check Miss Biz. She has excellent guide on several subjects. For example, the Furniture Crafting Guide, Where to Buy Furniture, and the Beginner Guide to Master Ritz. You can find all the links toward her videos in the information below. If you are more into build and theory crafting, I recommend you of course to go check Deltia. If you didn't know, Deltia is the source. He has updated several of his builds for Homestead patch. Magic Templar, PvP Healer, ESO Tank Discussion. Deltia has also published some general guides that are very interesting. How to stamina DPS and how to cancel animation on console. Another YouTuber worth to check is Allcast. He has improved all his builds related to Homestead. You will find PvP build and PvE build. And now a bit of mix of different news. First of all, the champion points cap will not be raised with Morrowind. It has been raised with Homestead to 600 champion points, and it will be reset again in future, but not in update 14. Will ESO graphic being updated? The console upgrades are related to the console performance, but for PC it is possible to work with newer DX version, better shaders, etc. But no major overhaul will be done. What about ESO Plus? First of all, as a reminder, ESO Plus members receive 1,500 kron by month of subscription and have access to all DLC. There is 2 more DLC that will come in 2017. But Zenimax is looking into making ESO Plus more interesting and more rewarding for players that are subscribing. They have ton of ideas, but they do not know what to do and when to do it. It will probably be in the line of the crafting bag or the double of furniture you can place in your home in Homestead. Matt Firor is saying, we do not want ESO Plus members to look at chapter every year as us taking something from them. What about the integrated voice chat on PC? Zenimax is answering, it's not worth it. Everyone is already using their own solution. And I'm telling you, Discord is the best. What about the feel of progression since one Tamriel removed the relevance of leveling? Matt Firor answered to that saying that for the players that regret to not being able to go back in a zone and kill everything extremely easily, well, it's a sacrifice that was totally worth it to allow more freedom and more flexibility to all players. Is ESO successful and populated enough? In May 2016, 7 million players had been announced by Zenimax. Today there is 8.5 million players that play the Elder Scrolls Online. The number is across all platforms obviously, and it's not current players, it's just players that have purchased the game or account created, but it still shows the progression in 1 year of the number of players playing the Elder Scrolls Online. It's also very relevant to see the number of players in the cities and in the zone in general. It's not dead at all, you can remove that idea from your head. No new skill line will be added in Morrowind beside the 3 skill line of the Wardens obviously. There will be no weapon and no guild skill line, but that may come in future, probably together with a chapter. The buff tracker is also coming with Update 14. The shoutout this week goes to Tian Lane, which is a YouTuber I discovered by chance. This player is making guides and home preview, racial style preview with a lot of care. It's a very kind, gentle and respectful person, very friendly, always commenting back when someone is asking a question. As he's making, he or she, I do not know actually, this person is putting a lot of effort in this video. I really recommend to watch it and give a little support for this person. And I take the chance of this video to remind you of our website, My Boyfriend and Me, elloa.com, where we gather all ESO news, but also and mainly our new series about homestead decorating Tamriel. We have released already 3 episodes and we are planning to release many more. If you have suggestions or if you want we showcase your house, do not hesitate to contact us and to join our community on Discord. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you to spend great time, feel good, take care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye bye everyone.